to it. The topics, or the first topic of the night, I should say. First of all, I just want to say it's awesome having everybody in here, man. It's so rare we get to do this now. So really, really cool that we got everybody in here to talk about. I know the chat is on fire already. Got a ton of people filing in. Appreciate you guys. Do me a favor, spin those laces, hit that like button for us. Packers announced multiple extensions. So Tom Silverstein tweeted the news out. First I seen of it. Packers announced they have signed GM Brian Gutekunst, Coach Matt LaFleur, and Executive Vice President and Director of Football Operations Russ Ball to multi-year contract extensions. All right, and the official quote from Ed Policy: "We're excited to extend our commitment to Brian, Matt, and Russ as the leaders of our football operations. Their steadfast dedication, passion, and collaboration have remained constant in our drive to compete at the highest level," said Packers President and CEO Ed Policy. Quote, "While we are all disappointed with the way the season ended, we remain aligned in purpose and have spent considerable time over the past weeks collaborating on a path forward. I'm exceedingly confident we have the right people to achieve our goal. The entire Packers organization looks forward to supporting every effort to bring our community and fans another championship that they very much deserve." So you can see here, everybody got an extension, guys. Russ Ball, basically your capologist, right? You got Brian Gutekunst, your general manager. You got Matt LaFleur, your head coach. I would be shocked if this is anything less than a 3-year deal for all three of them. It may even be a 5-year deal. I don't know. But just go around the horn. And how do you guys feel about this? I know there's some fans that were hoping this didn't happen. It was a very, very minute portion of the fan base, of course. But Ed Policy, his first move, has taken over here as the acting president for the Packers and CEO. This was the move he made, Tim. You're right there in town, man. How you feeling about all three of these hires? Because I feel like all three guys have done a good job. But have they been perfect? No, right? No. But when you look around the market, it's hard to find three guys that are better qualified, I believe, right now that's on the market anyways.
Yeah, I love this choice and this decision. You know, Ed Policy, the way I look at it, he had, one of two choices. You either burn it all to the ground and you make waves, you make a huge move as, the president, or you keep the core intact and we shake things up everywhere else, get some new blood in here and move forward with the core group and the core vision. And I, for one, love it. You know, I'm a big fan of Tupac LaFleur. I've been a big fan of Gutey. And obviously, when it comes to Russ Ball, what can you say? The guy works magic. So I'm happy, man. You can say what you want. As we formulate this staff, we're going to get, more into detail about who these coaches are going to be. But you kept the core group together and, we can look one direction, and that's forward right now. So I'm happy. I don't know what you guys think.
Heck yeah. Bill, what do you think about it, man? How you feeling about this?
Yeah, no, excited. Like Tim said, everybody kind of had their take on it, and you can have that, still can have that if you're mad at Gutey, if you're mad at Matt, whatever. But at this point, that's who we signed up for moving forward for the next 3-4 years, hopefully. See what happens. Gutey, been with the team 27 seasons. I was pulling this up off Packer. 27 seasons he's been there, 19 playoff appearances in that time. I mean, LaFleur, obviously I like LaFleur. He's in his bag a lot. I know we don't love everything, but I think he's a great play caller. And then, like Tim said, Ball, man, what a dog. 38th season in the NFL, 19 with Green Bay. Just unbelievable. And did you want to burn that to the ground? I don't think so. I don't think you want to try to knock that off when you've only missed the playoffs once in 7 seasons. So I'm all for it. I'm happy that it's done. Get it done early, like we said. That way Matt can move forward, get his defensive coordinator set up, all the other coaches that we're going to talk about, and getting everybody else in line. The offseason started day after we lost, so we got to get to it.
Yeah. Scared money don't make money.
Jacob, I know we're going to talk about the Vikings here in a little bit, but you're right there on the border. You're in Vikings country. So it's got to be nice to wake up and go, well, we got our 3 guys, and the Vikings are moving on from their GM. Pretty cool, right? What do you think about these 3, obviously these extensions here?
Yeah, I'll save my comments for the Vikings GM for just a few more minutes here. But
we
what
get
I'll say –
ready, right?
Yeah. Like Tim and Emilio already said, to me, I think out of the 3, the one guy that makes the most sense to me is Russ Ball. Every single year in and year out, we're like, the cap don't work. Cap doesn't make sense. Cap isn't a real thing. We'll never sign Aaron Jones. We'll never sign Rashawn. We'll never sign Aaron. We'll never sign, and then go down and down and down the list. And then what happens? we actually are to the point where we're able to sign not just our standalone studs, but people that we could actually bring in free season, in the off season, I should say, free agents. And now we're at the point now where if you look at comparison of where the Packers are compared to, let's just say, I don't know, let's just pick like a random crappy team. Let's say the Vikings or something like that. All of a sudden they're in cap hell, and we're sitting here kind of like, you know, sipping margaritas and you know, eating cannolis if you're a guy like Emilio kind of thing. And honestly, all kidding aside, it does make sense to me that Matt LaFleur and Gutekunst both got extended. Like we've said, is this the ideal situation that we all thought we'd be in, that they wouldn't have, you know, this many playoff wins or this many Super Bowls? No, right? If we could all set our settings on rookie Madden, we'd all be Emilio. But it's not how the NFL actually works.
You do that, you're going to get your
But to be honest, like, and again, all kidding aside, they've done a lot. We've asked them to do a lot with a little. Like me and Clayton talked about it. We've all talked about it for years now. Being the youngest team in the league can be a benefit, and the fact of like, yeah, maybe the cap hit and the
Jacob, we muted, brother. Somebody muted.
I didn't do it.
No, it's just the fact more that like we actually now have an opportunity to build a franchise with guys that have known how it's done, know what it takes to be a championship team. And if we just add maybe a few more vets here and there, I think that we are very, very close to unlocking ourselves a 3 to 5 year dynasty here.
And, you know, that's the thing, too, that was really, really interesting. We go into the season, you make that trade for Micah. All right, this is year one of a 3-year window. And then you have a ton of injuries happen, and all of a sudden people are ready to scrap it. And, again, it was a small portion of the fan base. But it's like, what are we doing here? Like, you got bit by the injury bug, you got bit by the injury bug, right? And everybody was willing to give San Francisco a pass. Well, look at what San Francisco's doing with that many injuries, right? Okay, they lost in the first round too, right? Am I wrong? Ain't that how their season finished as well? So, again, man, it's a part of the game. I get it. It's not an excuse. It's a reason. And you got to reset. You got to get a few more veterans in here. You're probably going to have to let go of some veterans, as some of the comments were mentioning here. Let's go to the chat, see what everybody's thinking here. Coach Lynn says, we are so close, I can taste it. It's what we're talking about with that 3-year window. Like, you could go out this year, and I could see the Packers being the number 1 seed in the NFC. That could happen. You get 5, 6, 7 key injuries, and I can see us right back in the same situation. But that goes for any team across the league, especially if you're the youngest roster going into the season. But I'm with you, Coach. I think we're real close. William Herman in the chat says, I'd like to see them reestablish a new core of this team and gut the rest. Let all the free agents walk, then cut Gary, Jenkins, Banks, Jacobs, McManus, Musgrave, and McDuffie. $60 million. So hold up a minute here. I want to make sure I understand.
Hold on there, player. Hold on.
No play on player with that comment. I mean, listen, you're looking at Gary and Jenkins. I get it, right?
Yeah.
You know, however, if you cut Gary and Jenkins and you just replace them with the draft picks, you're going right back in with the youngest roster again, and we're kind of, you know, wash, rinse, repeat, right?
You do that, you're going to get your ass kicked in that.
That's correct. Jacobs is where I go, whoa, what are we talking about here? Like, Josh Jacobs is kind of the heart and soul of the team. Josh Jacobs is one of the locker room leaders. Josh Jacobs is one of the best running backs in the game. And when you look at his yards after contact on average over the last few years, to me, it's more of a scheme thing there. It's more of a, okay, Gutey decided to go sign Josh Jacobs and get away from wide zone. So Matt tried to adapt the run game to that. It worked last year, not this year, but last year, right? And now teams have caught on, so it's okay. Maybe you need to get back to a little more wide zone boot. Jacobs is staying for me. Listen, I'm okay if you want to move on from McManus. Just don't get mad if next year he's back up to 95% field goal percentage somewhere else, and we got a rookie kicker or an unknown kicker, and we're back down to 78%, 80%. You know,
well, we have a rotation of young kickers coming in and out.
Been there, Tim.
Yeah, we've been there, done that.
And here's the thing. If you can find me a better kicker, William, I'm on board, man. Please don't take that the wrong way. I don't think that's a bad plan to move on from McManus. I'm just simply saying we need to find that replacement before we just move on and he goes and signs. Because I guarantee you McManus would sign somewhere else. I feel very confident someone would pick him up because, again, we've seen kickers getting rotated all year long across the National Football. We've seen it the year before and we were laughing at them. Then we ended up being one of those teams that's like, man, our kicking game's really struggling this year. Musgrave, I can understand wanting to move on. He's definitely not worth a top, 15, top 20 tight end money when he does become a free agent. I think that's a sneaky, I don't want to say need, but a sneaky option this draft. There's a few tight ends that I really like in this draft, and I wouldn't be surprised if one of them falls to the 3rd or 4th round. You go get one. I know it's not an immediate need, but that could be kind of okay. Musgrave, as he sells off into the sunset here, and gets a little bit older. And obviously you're going to look to re-sign Tucker Kraft when he's back from that ACL. Now you got another stud that's potentially at Tucker Kraft's level coming in to help you with 12 personnel. I could see that. McDuffie, 1 year left on his deal, right, this year. And I think he's going to be a solid piece of this. McDuffie is dirt cheap. That's why I'm saying, man, why would we want to get rid of him? To me, that doesn't make.
Especially if we're going to let Quay walk, right? Quay's going to test the market, right? McDuffie is going to be the closest thing you have to veteran presence in your linebacker room, at least in the middle.
Absolutely. And as far as Banks, I kind of brushed over that. But with Banks, it's interesting because you could go post June 1 and free up $18 million. You got to carry that cap hit until June 1st. So it doesn't really help you this free agency other than shuffling things around and knowing where the money's going to come from later, right? But if you just cut him outright pre-June 1, you're only freeing up $4 million. Now, I do not think he's the answer at left guard, so I can get on board with moving on from Banks at a post-June cut. I can. Jenkins, I think you cut him, free up the $20 million, let him test the market. If you can get him back for 10, great, right? But if you can't get him back for 10 against the cap, then you move on. The problem is you better be willing to spend some cash, some cheddar in free agency like Linderbaum, someone like that, and let's go in and fix this offensive line. So I think it's a fascinating point you made there, William. I don't agree with the whole thing, but I do agree with a good portion of it there.
He figured it out though. Somebody just highlighted it right here.
Let Quay and McDuffie walk. Go sign Bobby Wagner.
See, that's the thing. McDuffie doesn't have to walk,
Right.
And McDuffie was your other than Edgerrin Cooper was your highest graded linebacker this year. So it's like keep McDuffie, Tyron Hopper, obviously Edgerrin Cooper, then go get Bobby Wagner. You know what I mean? And it
get a year out of them or 2 years maybe. Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be Bobby Wagner, but just insert whoever. I'm telling you, man, Devin Lloyd has got my attention big time with that passer rating when targeted. Had a hell of a year this year. Not as good in the run, but passing, man, phenomenal.
Yes.
So, again, that's just kind of a quick glimpse into everything that they decisions they got to make, and they got to make them quick here, man. If we're going to do restructures, that'll most likely probably happen somewhere between mid-February, like February 15th-ish. So if you guys are watching this video back later, let us know in the comments, how do you feel about those extensions? Do you agree with all three? Do you disagree with all three? Do you agree with one or two, and maybe not a third? Let us know in the comments. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, click the bell icon so you're notified when we go live in the future. One of my favorite things to do is to hop in the comments and have a conversation with you guys after the show's finished, right? And these videos upload later and edit it out. So look forward to seeing that.